We are back for another Super Sunday session of the show, beautiful people. Now, this is where we make it our job to deliver you the most exciting content creators from around the world. And guess what? We always, let me repeat that, always bring it to you live right here on YouTube. Okay, your job, and it's an easy one, is just to chat with us and leave us any of your questions throughout the show. How simple is that? You're welcome. Alrighty, I am your host, Dan Stagliano. Now today, we got a good one for you today, team. Today we have a couple of talented young folks from the entertainment industry. Now specifically, we're diving into the world of a web series. This web series, however, is just a little different. No, scrap that. In fact, it's groundbreaking. Believe it or not, hold on to your seats, people. All 6 episodes of A Safe Distance were shot with the actors in the safety of their own space. Yeah, that means none of them were ever in the same room. Absolutely awesome, huh? Let me give you a little taste about this. A Safe Distance is set in the first months of the COVID-19 pandemic, and it follows a group of loosely connected 20 or 30-somethings attempting to maintain their relationships, their livelihoods, and their sanity, tell me about it, while coping with the uncontrollable circumstances of a global pandemic. Take a little look at this. I don't know about you, but I am dead keen to hear all about how the cast and crew made this magic happen. And who better to tell us about it than 2 of the stars of A Safe Distance, producer and actress, she's got 2 titles, Michelle Scarr, and actor Chris Robertson. Welcome, team, welcome. How are you guys doing today?
Hi, we're good. How are you?
Oh, we're just, it's another Sunday in time of COVID.
Yep.
Seems to be a bit of a theme of what we've got going on here, which is perfect for what we have to talk about. Can I ask you, we're going to be serious maybe for just a couple of seconds because we don't do serious very often here on the show. How are you both holding up in this new normal? Michelle?
Well, I'm hanging in. Yeah, I guess just doing nothing, hanging out with my quarantine friends. We're all in the same pod together. Yeah, just hanging out, working from this desk all the time. This is the desk that I filmed most of Safe Distance in, and that is where I'm coming from you today. So not much has changed.
I was going to say, I feel like I recognize that backdrop there. I'm like, I've seen this person, this lovely person, this lovely space. Chris, buddy, how are you holding up, big guy?
Oh, for me, it's been I've been with the same pod for ever. I live with my lovely wife and my in-laws. I'm very blessed for that, and shout out to a good my sister-in-law and my best friend as well. We're all in the same pod together, so I'm very fortunate that we were able to do this. So we get together, weekends and play games when we can. But that's a little bit of sanity during this time. But in the meantime, I'm chilling, writing some things, and just creating.
I feel like you're in a pretty good situation then, to be honest, Chris, that you're able to obviously get the work done that obviously you love doing, but that you're surrounded by family and friends, which, over the past 12 months is I'd almost guess it's a blessing. Before this pandemic, you might have been sitting there and oh my God, if I have to spend any more time with my family, but I feel like over the past 12 months, you're sitting there going, oh my God, I cannot thank the Lord enough for giving me my family to surround me and be here to sort of help prop me up through this.
You're 100% correct. It's really helped, get me through this. My family, anyways, is my rock, and they support me with everything that I do. I know many people in our country they don't have that right now, and my heart goes out to them. And but what I can say, I'm truly blessed, and I'm truly grateful for everything.
Wait,
that's
so
awesome.
Did you
That's
film?
absolutely awesome, Chris. Thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah.
Did you film, Chris, living with all those people?
Yeah, they were really annoyed. No, I'm just kidding. I actually, my wife, she's such a trooper. I'm like, hey, honey, I have to shoot this weekend. So I need this one space. And fortunately, how we filmed it was all we all used one room, really, for our main hub.
Yeah.
And but she was able to, roam freely throughout the house. So I hope it was easy for her. And shout out to my wife, Kara. Love you. I know she's watching.
Shout out to Kara.
Kara, while we're shouting out to you, you can also write into us and let us know the list of things that he's now going to owe you for being such a thoughtful wife. I want to switch to the shoot because, as we mentioned previously, this was all shot separately at distance, funnily enough. One question, though, how did you guys make this happen? How did you bring it together so well?
A lot of pre-pro work, I would say. I basically had my partner, Brendan, hi Brendan, trying different audios and different Zooms with me. So we kind of tested it out. And then also the director, Megan, who's also my roommate. So she's watching in the other room right now. And then the writer, Dave, we're three best friends. So we tried a bunch of stuff together so we could kind of bring this process already figured out to the cast. However, I think our biggest challenge was spotty Wi-Fi, because we filmed all over Zoom. For the most part, we each had external microphones, but we did use a lot of actual Zoom footage. So we didn't use any professional camera equipment because we felt we wanted this to seem as raw as possible. While I don't think we can get away with Zoom footage forever, but this was obviously the time to kind of capitalize it. And since it kind of lends itself to this medium, we were all right, we're going to shoot with Zoom, and then we're going to try to get the best audio quality we can, which for the most part worked, but there was definitely once Louise and Carmen, which we had to just postpone to an entire other day because our Wi-Fi's just weren't working. So it had its very difficult moments, but for the most part, we barely had to reshoot anything. We actually knocked out our production schedule in a really efficient way. I think maybe the whole thing took about a week to film. Not everyone was working every day, but I think we shot maybe for 7 days, but from probably 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. We probably did around 10, 12-hour days from the internet.
I think it was just a fantastic effort to be able to collate that and pull that in. And that's just one thing that I didn't even think about was spotty Wi-Fi. You're absolutely right. Spotty Wi-Fi. Technology. I'm not a technology buff. Chris, that was actually my first question. What challenges did you face as an artist on this project? And Michelle, you just gave us from your point of view. Chris, what did you find?
What I guess one of the challenges is in terms of creating a new series that's based kind of in a film-like setting was the length of the scenes. Now, this was originally Michelle, can I say that it was a play?
Oh yeah, go for it.
So it was a play first, and so we were used to the long format, learning your lines, and just continuously going forward. And when when we were actually filming it, we actually filmed it like it was one long scene, which thankfully, coming from a theater-based training, it was good to like learn a good chunk of lines and do a scene across from Michelle, so we could actually relate with each other through the Zoom. But if we had to cut, if we messed up, we'd have to go all the way back to the beginning of the scene, which it was a very long scenes usually to film. So I guess in that respect, just the length of the scenes were a bit challenging. But in terms of having a theater background, it was very helpful.
It always zeroes back to that New York trained actors, I tell you, with that theater background, sets you up beautifully for whatever you may or may not have to come up against in TV and film. And while I have you guys with me right now, Jay, who's in the pub TV, he's giving shout outs to you both. So I'm guessing you know who that is. Yeah? He's loving the work you're doing. Why wouldn't he?
Hi, Jason.
Hey Jay, thanks for joining us, buddy. Michelle, I want to drill down a little. With you first. You just sit tight right there, Chris, because I'm coming to you, buddy.
Okay.
Michelle, you as an actor, how do you relate to Louise and what she's going through in the series?
I think Louise is definitely like a pretty relatable character as just like a millennial woman. But I would say Louise is very similar to Michelle, but like a put together Michelle. Like she probably doesn't cry as much as I do. And she definitely is not an actress, but there are definitely similarities where I feel very connected with her. And as like Chris said before, this was the original source material was a play that Dave, the writer, wrote when we were probably like 21, 22. And Chris and I were actually in this original play that we put up in New York in like 2014. So we kind of aged all of the characters up. So Chris and I like actually had this like great privilege to work with these characters who are now like 6 years older, as we are 6 years older, coming from a place where we kind of like grew up with them. So Louise has like always been super close to my heart because I played her at like such a young age, and then we both kind of had this background, like the story background of our characters to play now. So it was just such a super rewarding experience for us.
That sounds awesome. You guys are telling me you aged 6 years from early 20s. Can you send us also, let our whole crowd, our whole viewers know exactly how you managed this 6 years later? Yeah, feel a little older.
It was very different show. I know, and it was funny, like Dave wrote in, he'll probably tell you one day, when it was in like the Skype era of like 2012, 2011. So it was all like video chat when it was like this new technology for us in like college. And now it was like, we were all like just thinking, we're like, I feel like distance would work now that we kind of have to be virtual. So it was this great way to like age the characters up and change the story and make it more meaningful as fully formed adults rather than 22-year-olds trying to play adults. So it was such an incredible experience, both from like a production perspective for me, and then also from an acting perspective.
There were so many things, as you just mentioned, that were like amazing experiences for you. And there were many thought-provoking topics in here when I watched the series, Michelle. Things like, for instance, let me think, relationships with an ex. Does being in quarantine change the rules to these relationships? So I want to know what your take is on that. What are the rules when talking to an ex? How much of that needs to be disclosed to the current partner?
Oh, well, Louise was 100% wrong. But I do obviously playing her, like I understand her motives that I don't think, and there was we talked like a lot about it with myself and the director, Meg, that we felt like Louise is such a good person. Like at her core, like she's like a rule follower. So this is totally uncharacteristic for her to even be talking to Trip. And I'm like, the only circumstance that would kind of force her into this situation with Trip is like truly the isolation factor. That I think if Trip had reached out to her in a time where we weren't confined to our houses, she wasn't separated from her boyfriend, she would not give Trip the time of day. And I also would say that we don't think, as a production team, we didn't really think Trip would have reached out to Louise if he wasn't isolated. So I don't think this was like a perfect storm for these two characters that they found themselves in. So, and I think, and we talked a lot about it, especially in pre-production and in like the character analysis, is that what do people do when there's no way out, like when there's no escape? And like the same thing with Carmen. I don't think she would have fallen into this hole any other way because she was pushed by unforeseen circumstances. And I think people are making, like, we're all kind of on the edge all the time. And we're living through this traumatic experience to this day that I don't know if I don't think anyone is their best selves during this quarantine. And I think that's kind of what we wanted to get across, that these are all good people under duress, which is like how we're all living.
Well, I mean, and they often say art imitates life. So based on events in the series, then I wonder how many people in the real world are, because they are isolated, behaving differently to maybe how they naturally would if they had that social interaction. So Chris, the coach is bringing you into the game here, buddy. What do you think? Is it okay to reach out to an ex? And I want to know, the second part to this question, buddy, is who should you not reach out to throughout a lockdown?
Oh my God, Dan. No, you should not reach out to an ex. It's not okay, especially if you're in a relationship. Just because you're in a pandemic and isolated doesn't mean. Personally, I don't think you could reach out to somebody else and virtually cheat on that person, on your significant other. And then, what was the other question?
It was kind of one and the same. I was saying, do you think you should be okay to reach out to an ex, which you answered no. And then I asked you, is there anybody else you should not reach out to throughout a lockdown?
Oh, there it is. Oh, man, that you should not reach out to during a lockdown.
Yeah. Might cause you a little trouble, a little grief.
You should never, ever, you should never, ever reach out to your next door neighbor because they will never leave. They will never leave.
Like that whole sugar thing.
They will just, you invite them over one time, like, oh, you're right next door. You're right next door. But then they never leave, and then you become family.
And Chris, nor can you escape them, buddy, because they're right next door.
You can't. You can't. And then they'll just keep waving. They'll just keep getting your attention, and like, oh no, we're doing another game night. That's what's happening? Okay.
No more game nights.
Cool.
You hear that, people? No more game nights. But speaking of waving, Chris, your character Trip is a travel writer. He's a big traveler in the show. I want to know, for you, Chris, when the dust settles, traveling safe again, where are you most looking forward to traveling to?
Oh my God, I talk about this all the time. I really want to go to Scotland. That's my heritage. I really want to go to Scotland, and I also want to go to Italy. That's my wife's nationality, and like she's been before. She keeps telling me, I want to bring you to Italy so bad. I've been there like twice, and the countryside is beautiful. I really want you to see it. And like, oh yeah, thanks, honey. I really want to go. Stop. Let's go now. But, yeah, you're teasing me. You're teasing me with the countryside. But those are the two places I would love to continue to travel the world. There are so many plans in my head, but those are the first two that I really want to go to.
Michelle, throw it to you. We're a magic genie here. We've rubbed the lamp. Where are you going?
I think about this. This is all I think about, honestly, is traveling with my partner. I just dream of being in Paris all of the time, and also dream of being in Ireland all the time. And I actually went to Paris and Ireland like in 2019. So I actually got there before this all happened. And I guess it's just because it's like fresh in my mind. And I look at pictures all the time because they just pop up on my phone because technology. And I just daydream that we're there. So I'd probably go to Ireland first, and then I'd go to Paris. And just like eat bread and drink wine and just be happy.
You're choosing all the hot spots. Chris, we should talk later because in case you didn't know, I am an Italian guy and I lived there for 2 years. My family are all Italian. We talk later. We talk later, beautiful boy. All right, last serious question, all right? Let's talk about it. Social distancing is obviously hard. The series does a great job of highlighting some of the difficulties which we've discussed. What I want to know from each of you is this. How are you doing with social distancing? Have you both become experts or what?
I mean, I just don't see anyone anymore. It's just kind of sad. I just don't social distance. I just stay inside. And I mean, it's hard in New York, especially because even like you go to the store, like people are always on top of you and we're like, sir, we're in a panini, like calm down. But especially in New York, it's just so crowded that it's hard. So it's definitely wear a mask and find your place in line strategically.
Yeah,
interesting.
Definitely agreed. The social distancing, I feel like it's front and center in my mind anytime I go to the store, because that's really the only thing that I am doing now. Instead of staying, is all right. I have to go to the store and get some things. But that's where I really tend to make sure there is a good amount of space in between me and other people. Make sure my mask is on. My family, we have my father's a very a high risk person, and so I don't want to God forbid bring home something to him. So especially when I'm out and about shopping, I'm always using my peripherals. In the store, and just keeping that 6 feet of distance, and just walking down the one-way aisles in the store, like, oh, I'm going down the wrong way, I have to go back, now go around the other way. So I'm very conscious of it.
You're that guy, Chris. You're that guy, the wrong way guy. Well, listen, this is the perfect segue, and you both answered beautifully to what we've got coming up next. Because, as you know, we're famous on the show for playing games. And I want to play a game with you two right now. All right. This game we call A Safe Distance. The game. I always add the game to every game we play. All righty. So, I'm going to give you one little warm-up because that question showed me a little about who you guys are in terms of safe distances. So, here's how the game works. I'm going to give you a scenario in which you two are going to let me know what a safe distance is in that scenario. We're going to give you a few seconds as a team to collaborate, and then bam, you need to give me a response as a team. So, I'll give you a little warm-up, all right, because I'm a nice guy. I'm Italian. What did I tell you, Chris? I'm a nice guy. Are you ready? So here's the first one. What is a safe distance from a fire?
Ooh.
Far. What's it's
feet?
like
150 feet?
I'm like, what's
Is that what you're
far
looking
enough?
at? 150 feet?
Wait. What kind of fire is it? Is it like a house fire or like a little
It's in
campfire?
math.
Car fire.
Yeah.
Chris, who's asking the questions here, buddy? Who's asking the
Oh
questions?
man, I feel like we gotta get more specific. Specificity is key as an
I
actor.
know.
Tell them
No.
car fire.
I didn't tell you that we're playing by rules in this game. I said it's a game.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna say 100 feet.
Andrew.
Michelle, what do you think?
100
Michelle,
feet?
what do you think?
Yeah,
We're looking at 100 feet.
150 just to be sure.
I'll go 150 feet
That
with
proves
Michelle.
that you're
150
safe.
feet.
Yeah.
150 feet. Well, you'll be happy to know that FEMA have suggested 10 feet or more. But we say that as long as it's one station wagon that your grandmother probably drives, and if it's painted red, you're in business. You're safe. Don't worry about it. All righty?
100 station wagons. Okay.
100 station
I
wagon.
was just going
All
to
right, now you know our game. Are you ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
The second one. What is a safe distance from the lion enclosure at the zoo?
The normal.
Yeah, that one.
Like-
I'm 20 feet.
20 feet from the. No, I feel like it's like 10 feet from the glass. You know, it's not like they're
Yeah.
there. There's glass.
That's true. That is true. Let's do 10 feet.
from the glass.
No, like,
Okay.
like you could
Well-
be.
There's like a barrier. I
Yeah,
was
there's a
thinking with
barrier.
that glass. I was thinking with it.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, with no glass. Okay.
I see
Yeah,
what you're
I guess,
saying,
like-
but what we were looking for is, according to online statistics, is avoid running and walking distance. So don't run from the line, and as long as you're walking distance away, you should be good.
Walking.
Oh, so really, we were right,
Like 10 feet?
right?
I'll give you that one. Ting, ting,
Okay.
you're good. All right, we're warming up, team. All righty, a safe distance from power lines.
Power lines, like the
25 feet?
distance from the ground. Yeah, like from the ground to the power line.
25 feet?
Yeah,
You was
okay,
asking all the
25.
hard questions. Look,
I don't
I'm
know,
gonna go
Michelle.
with that. I heard Chris say 20 feet.
Like as long as you don't
It's
touch
actually 10
them.
feet. I'd be a little concerned if people are that high up near power lines anyway. So 20 feet's good. We'll go with 20 feet. This one we've all experienced because we might not all have been up there on power lines. Are you ready? What is a safe distance standing behind someone at an ATM pre-pandemic?
Pre-pandemic. Ooh.
Like a
Yes.
foot. I would appreciate
You're at the
at
bank?
least a foot.
I would
Two feet
say like
away?
4 feet.
4.
4 feet?
Yeah.
At an ATM, 4 feet? Yeah. I would give
4
someone
feet.
4 feet. Because I don't want someone
Yeah.
like a foot behind me
we're
looking at my.
respectful people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see
Okay.
that, Chris? I see where you're going with that, buddy. Those people who peek over, and I'm kind of short, so everybody can see over my shoulder anyway. But the answer we were looking for, unfortunately, is if you can smell someone's cologne, you're a little too close.
Oh.
I think we got that. Anyway, I think all of our
Depends on the
answers.
cologne. It does depend on the cologne though, and how much someone puts on.
How much has been put on? Alrighty. This one's a little pre-pandemic as well. But anyway, if you're talking to a stranger at a house party, what's a safe distance to stay away from them?
Ooh.
I'll give you a clue. There is a number attached to this one. There's an actual number.
This is actually a number.
I'd say like
All right.
a foot, like a foot, right? Wait, how big
A
is a
foot
foot?
to-
I don't know. It's like that big, right?
To stay away from them.
Yeah, what's a safe
Like, I would
As
distance
long
to
as they're
talk?
not in your face.
Oh,
like,
okay,
think
yeah.
it's
I would say maybe like 2 feet. 2 feet.
I'd say
maybe
a
like
foot.
All right, I'll go with you, Michelle. A foot.
Okay,
A
I'm
foot?
sorry if this is the one we get wrong.
I
No,
think
you've
we
got
could
more
do
right
really
to
good.
time, Michelle. I'd say, Michelle, all you got to do is lengthen that out a little, babe, because apparently it's the length of a beer pong table, which is 9 feet.
Wow.
You never had a 9-foot conversation?
No.
I mean, yeah. During these times.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's say that stranger's somebody sexy. Same question. Then how far do you stay away?
Oh.
The
I
normal
gotta go-
human.
Yeah. Like, what do you say? 3 feet?
Far away. So far.
Far away.
Far away?
Far away.
Hey, listen, I don't know
How
about you guys, a little strange over there on the East Coast.
I don't
But if there's
know.
a sexy person at a house party, I'm right up on their grill. All bets are off, baby. I'm
Well,
going
that's
straight in.
what I was thinking. I was like a foot. I was like,
Distance. Yeah, like a foot. I don't know. That's
You
not
guys
a
are
foot.
good at
That's
this,
not a man.
I say a foot. I say a foot. Like, oh, hey, how's it going?
I'd
How's it
say a
going? This
foot. I'd
is
say
a
a
foot.
foot.
Right? Oh, hey.
Yeah,
how's it
I
going?
mean,
That looks like about a foot. From my angle, Chris, I'm seeing a foot. I'm seeing a foot. Alrighty,
saying
we're
a
going back to animals here. Alrighty, a skunk. What's a safe distance to stay away from a skunk?
30 feet.
30 feet, yeah. I was thinking 30 feet.
30 feet.
As long as you
You're
can't
on the
smell
mark.
it. How about that? As long as you can't smell it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
So
one.
that is
I
a
like the way
safe
you're going,
distance.
Chris. I like the way you're going, buddy. Actually, it's 16 feet for safety because, wait for it, they can spray 15 feet. Can you believe that? They spray 15 feet.
That was
great job, team.
That was insane.
You're
That's insane,
in the
actually.
safe
30,
zone.
we were close, though. 30
zone.
feet, 31 feet. That's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, from afar, please give these guests a round of applause. What a great job. We know these guys are safe. There you have it, team. That was our game of the week, a safe distance, the game. Michelle and Chris, thank you so much for joining us today. It was an absolute blast getting to know you guys, and even more fun getting to know exactly what you both consider safe distances. I would feel safe around you guys. I'm just saying. Now, to keep everything Michelle and Chris are doing, including the links for A Safe Distance, the web series, you know what to do. Take a little peek below, because that's where all the information is. And before we let you jet, you two beautiful people, can you tease us just a little with what's coming next for you both?
Oh, okay. I've been producing at People Magazine for their YouTube channel. So if you want to see a bunch of new series come out, check that out. People on YouTube.
Very cool. Very cool. Chris,
And,
what you got going on, buddy?
Actually, there's something in the works right now that I'm lucky to be a part of. It's a pilot and a potential for multiple episodes. I can't really say for what platform because I really haven't gotten permission to say anything yet. But there is something in the works. It's a comedy. Yeah, I'm sure I will be posting about it in the near future.
Dude, that is so exciting. Now, I'm going to ask you one more thing before we have to let you go. Regarding the series, what would each of you like to see for your characters in, say, I don't know, a second season? Now, and I'm only asking because we may not have the director and the writer joining us on the show in the not-too-distant future. So, just because I'm a good bloke, I might be able to put in a good word or two for you both for the right price. Just saying. Just saying.
This is my fever dream. It is no way based in reality. So Dave and Meg, when they come on, will probably refute this, but I would love to see a season where we follow Trip throughout Europe. I have to produce it. Louise probably wouldn't be in it, but I would love to film in Europe, just around Chris, and have a bunch of adventures when this is all over.
Michelle, why did you take my answer? I agree. Like, I think especially for Trip, I want to see the growth and where he goes from the end of season 1. I'm not going to say how it ends, but what happens to him at the end of season 1, and if he continues on that path of growth. So we'll see.
That would be exciting. Can I just say, Chris, I mean, and as a producer, Michelle, you know, I mean, he would need somebody who's well-versed in Europe to help him travel around. I'm just saying, just going to throw that out there.
I feel like a guest star is just with us right now.
He's Italian. He's an Italian guy.
A real Italian guy. Listen, thank you at home for joining us with these two awesome legends today for another week of the show. I hope you had as much fun as we did. I don't know how you couldn't have. It was awesome. Please remember, if you have an artist or content creator that you're following, drop their names in that little bit below I mentioned before in the comments. And if you've got a question, we will find them. We will get that answer for you, alrighty? And we'll get them on here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the show. And remember, we are live all the time. So turn on your notifications by hitting the bell icon so you don't miss out. Bing! And remember, lovely people, until next time, don't forget, have fun, stay beautiful.